in the heart of Burkina Faso, where the savannas meet the forests and ancient winds, whisper through the tall grass. A story unfolded that would echo far beyond the borders of the land. It was a story of power, compassion, and the invisible thread that connects all living beings. And at the center of it stood President Ibrahim Traoré, a man already known for his courage, but destined to be remembered. For a moment that blurred the line between legend and reality. It began on a warm afternoon, near a village not far from Ouagadougou. Farmers working in the fields were the first to see him, a male lion, magnificent yet weary, emerging slowly from the trees. His golden mane shone in the sunlight, but his steps were heavy. His eyes filled not with rage but with sorrow. Behind him limped a lioness, wounded, her flanks streaked with blood. The farmers froze. 4 generations, lions had been feared, symbols of raw power and untamed wilderness. But this lion did not come to kill. He came to plead. Word spread like wildfire. Soldiers stationed nearby rushed to protect the villagers, ready to fire if necessary. Yet as the lion approached the gathering crowd, something extraordinary happened. The great beast lowered his head, bowing deeply before President Ibrahim Traoré, who had arrived after hearing the alarm. Gasps rippled through the air. The animal did not roar. He did not attack. He begged. Traoré stood still, his eyes locked with the lion's. In those amber eyes, he saw pain, desperation, and an unspoken plea. Help her. For a long moment, silence fell over the village, broken only by the weak breathing of the injured lioness. Soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons, but Traoré raised his hand, commanding them to stand down. This is no threat, he said calmly. This is a call for help. The words carried power, and even those who feared the beast felt their hearts stir. Traoré walked forward slowly, every step measured, until he stood just a few feet from the king of the savannah. The lion remained bowed, motionless except for the tremor of his muscles as he shielded his mate. In that sacred moment, human and animal understood one another. Traoré called for veterinarians from the capital. Trucks rumbled down dirt roads, bringing medicine, bandages, and tranquilizers. The lioness, it was discovered, had been shot by poachers. The bullet wound was deep, infected, and life-threatening. Normally, such creatures avoided humans, but driven by love and desperation, the male lion had chosen to trust the one man he sensed would listen. The operation to save her life became a national mission. Villagers built shelters of straw and wood. Soldiers guarded the perimeter day and night to protect both people and lions. The veterinarians worked tirelessly, cleaning the wound, removing the bullet, and treating the infection. The lion stood vigil at every moment, his gaze never leaving his mate, his ears twitching at every sound. Each evening, Traoré returned to the site. He did not come as a president, but as a guardian. He knelt near the lioness, speaking softly, as if his words could carry strength to her weakening body. The male lion, at first wary, began to accept his presence. There were moments when the two would simply look at one another. Man and beast, bound by a silent pact. Days turned into nights, and the struggle for survival continued. At times, the lioness's breathing slowed so much that the veterinarians feared the worst. But the male lion's determination never faltered, and Traoré's commitment never wavered. If she lives, he said, it will be because we chose compassion over fear. News of the event spread across Burkina Faso, then across Africa, and soon across the world. Journalists called it the bow of the lion. Social media overflowed, with images of the great beast kneeling before Traoré, and of the president himself sitting near the wounded animal. Commentators debated whether it was divine providence, ancestral spirits, or simply the mysterious intelligence of nature. Whatever it was, millions felt inspired. Finally, after weeks of struggle, the lioness began to heal. She stood shakily one morning, the sun rising behind her like a crown of fire. The villagers cheered, the soldiers saluted, and the veterinarians wept. The male lion nuzzled her gently, his deep purr vibrating through the earth like distant thunder. Together, they walked a few steps into the open field, freedom glimmering before them once more. Before they returned to the forest, however, the male lion paused. He turned back toward Traoré, who stood waiting at the edge of the crowd. For one final time, the beast lowered his head, bowing in silent gratitude. The lioness, her wound bound but healing, leaned against a mate. And then, without a sound, they vanished into the tall grass, swallowed by the wild. The people of Burkina Faso would never forget. They told the story by firesides, in schools, and in marketplaces. It became a tale of courage, loyalty, and the sacred duty of humanity to protect the natural world. To the villagers, it was proof that love is not limited to human hearts. To the soldiers, it was a reminder that true power lies in mercy. And to Traoré, it was a moment that defined his leadership, not by conquest, but by compassion. Years later, when people spoke of Ibrahim Traoré, they would recall many things: his strength, his defiance, his role in reshaping his nation. But above all, they would remember the day a lion bowed before him, asking for the life of his wounded mate, and how, through courage and kindness, man and beast together created a legend that would never die.